Let's show love and we're still alive, not in debt. All for love, I say.
Ẹ má gbé kúrò, ẹ má yí kúrò, ẹ má gbé kúrò, ẹ má yí kúrò, 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́. Ẹ má gbé kúrò, ẹ má yí kúrò, ní West Radio 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́. 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́. Àní kẹ́ ẹ má gbé kúrò, ẹ má yí kúrò, ẹ má gbé kúrò, kẹ́ ẹ má yí kúrò. 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́, ẹ má gbé kúrò, ní West Radio ẹ má yí kúrò, 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́, Olúyọ̀lé là wá, 89.3 là wá ń gbọ́.
West Radio 89.3 FM kànga gbọ́nmágbẹ́.
right, studio time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the 30th day in October of 2025. Honestly, I feel like just going on my knees and singing worship songs because another month is almost over. Yesterday, I had to start, reminding myself 30 days has September, April, June, and November, just to know if October has 31 days or 30. And I realized that October has 31 days. And it's just a day to the end of October. And we're moving close and close and close to the end of the year. We've not lost our lives. We're still alive and we still have hope. And that's just that is enough reason to be grateful to God. So, once again, good morning to you, dear listener. Thank you for tuning in to Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of all your states. If you're tuning in for the first time, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. This is where we give you wholesome content for every single member of your family, okay? Whatever it is that you fancy, if you want entertainment news, if you want lifestyle programs, if you want food programs, if you want, marriage programs, if you want sports programs, Yoruba programs, Pidgin, Igbo, Hausa, whatever it is you want. If you want Christian programs, you find it here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Okay, and you can listen to us not only by dialing your radio to 89.3 FM, you can listen via our website, www.wellsradio893.com. You can also listen via other radio directories, although I recommend you try our website first. But you can also find us on other radio directories like onlineradiobox.net, radiogarden.com as well. Now, you can also connect with us on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. That's Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. That fan page is specially curated just for you, our dear listener. Now, also follow us on other social media platforms. Yes, you'll find us on X, on Instagram and TikTok at Wells Radio 893. Now, my name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and this morning the program is Perspectives Unlimited, where we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Don't worry, on this show we basically take a look at the headlines and we break it down. We help you make sense of these stories. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. So just stay with us and come along with us. We'll start first by taking a look at some of the headlines making the rounds on the dailies this morning. Now, many of the dailies have advertisements, and so we'll just take the few headlines on the front pages of the dailies, but we'll discuss more than that, when we get to this discussion part of the show. Now, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, coup controversy. Military tracks 45 billion naira in NDDC. Detained soldiers linked in NDDC Top Shots probe. Silver out of country denies links with alleged coup. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu revokes pardon for Sonda. 140 high-profile inmates. Page 2 of the Punch newspaper has that story. Senate screening. CDS eyes foreign partnership to crush insurgency. That story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says alleged coup plot. Silva confirms raid on residents. That story is on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, continued on page 3. More headlines. Federal government withdraws pardon for Miriam Sonda drug dealers. That's on page 4. Alleged Christian genocide, U.S. lawmakers relying on faulty data. That's from the federal government. Protests, curfew trill, Tanzania presidential poll. That's on page 23. Shatima to ACF, don't allow mischief makers divide Nigeria. That's the reason on page 6. More headlines. Banks' credit to private sector drops by 6 trillion naira in 4 months. Kano confirms 4 new variants of polio virus. And we see this. National Assembly okays Tinubu's request to borrow $2.35 billion. All of that you find on the Daily Trust newspaper. And on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, how to fix Nigeria's security challenges. That's from the service chiefs. That's on page 5. Tinubu excludes convicts of kidnapping, drugs, firearms, offences from clemency list. That's on page 9. Why we're backing Soludo's re-election. That's from Onisha Traders. That's on page 23. Power supply. Nigeria Siemens signed phase 1 power deal, 7,000 megawatts to grid. That's on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. These and many more we're going to be talking about on Perspectives Unlimited, and I'll bring on our analyst this morning, Mr. Olale Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, madam.
How do you do?
How do you do?
All right. I'm still not so familiar, even though I brought it upon myself on this show here. Well, you're welcome, sir. Let's start from, and it feels like the major headline for this morning is about the coup. But before we get into that, let's take a look at the list or the news or the pardon that came out yesterday. I saw the documents on the State House press release and also on X coming from Bayon Onuga and Sunday Dare, spokesman of the president. And, the list had been reviewed because the pardon that was granted to, you shared that list with me. And everybody was, shocked and surprised to see what these people had done that had warranted or merited them going to prison, and then hearing that they were going to be pardoned. And the president had ordered a review of the pardon that was granted at the National Council of State meeting on October 9, 2025. And so consequently, some persons convicted of serious crimes such as kidnapping, drug-related offences, human trafficking, fraud, unlawful possession of firearms and arms dealing, and so on were deleted from the list. Some others who had been pardoned in the old list had their sentences commuted, or in the case of Miriam Sonda, reduced to 12 years, of which he has already served about 6 years plus. And the president also, or the presidency, says that the action became necessary in view of the seriousness and security implications of some of the offences. They said the need to be sensitive to the feelings of the victims of the crime and society in general, the need to boost morale of law enforcement agencies, and adherence to bilateral obligations. Now, in view of this, Mr. Sani, many people say that this shows that we have a listening president. What do you say?
That's a lie. It shows that power ultimately belongs to the people, and it's what I have been saying for ages. It shows that.
Please go ahead, sir.
It shows that power ultimately belongs to the people. The people screamed. I mean, I was livid when I saw that list. I was like, how dare you put these people on the list of people you want to release? I mean, haven't you gone through what they did? In all seriousness, that they made a U-turn. Is it because of the fact that, they just came to a realization as regards what they did? No. They knew exactly what each and every one of them did. They actually wanted to release each and every one of them. But when the people screamed, they felt like, let's not earn the wrath of the people over what we didn't do. At that particular point in time, they had a change of heart. Had it been that we had kept quiet, trust me, Miriam Sanda would have been a free woman right now. And in all seriousness, I am still not happy with the fact that they have now created a path legally for Miriam Sanda to work out free out of that.
What path is that? By reducing her sentence?
Yes. She was sentenced to death by hanging.
Yes.
Now you said you are commuting that to 12 years.
In the best interest of her children.
Well, didn't she consider that before she stabbed their father to death? Have the children died in the last 6 years? Of course not. They have been taken care of by people who are more sensible, who think before they act. And in all seriousness, it would be injurious to the well-being of those children to allow this woman to come back to them, because she has proven beyond reasonable doubt.
They also say she's been a model prisoner.
Let's forget about that. That's what they are telling us. But in all seriousness, what modesty do you want to bring if you are a convicted killer? Nobody would want to associate with someone like that. That's the truth. Can you make someone like that, your own friend? Of course you won't. I won't. I can't. That's the truth of the matter. In all seriousness, Nigerians need to be very, very wary. at this particular point in time. We are saying that, okay, some had their sentences commuted, some, okay, let's leave it the way it was. I am not totally sure that it's still going to remain as it is come 2027. It's a yearly ritual where the president pardons people. Let's watch out for what happens next year. Maybe they now begin to say, okay, instead of
Now
saying...
the president has, moved the power of,
from the
to the Ministry of Justice. Do you think this is a smart move?
It's still not going to make any difference, because the body that did the review was headed by the Attorney General of the Federation. He was the chair of the committee. If you are bringing it from another ministry to his own ministry, it's still going to be under him. I don't want to believe that there is an excuse for him for what is on the ground. He created it because he was chair of that body. The ministry the body belongs to is of no effect here, because when it was under someone else, he still had his way. What now happens when it's absolutely under him? In all seriousness, let's get serious. We should come up with a law that is going to bar some people from presidential pardon. I was even wrong when I was arguing the other day that, there are some crimes that are federal offenses, some are state offenses. The way we run our legal system, murder is more or less a state offense. It's the state that prosecutes murder. And the president released someone who was convicted of murder, only for me to now brush up my knowledge of the Constitution to understand that the president can grant anybody mercy, irrespective of whether it was a federal offense that took the person to jail or we shouldn't be that lenient, generous, or magnanimous. These are people who have done nefarious things. In all seriousness, let there be penalty for bad behavior. One of the reasons why Nigeria is like this is because there is no penalty for bad behavior. How can you look at your fellow human and stab that person to death simply because you felt that person was cheating? I don't support cheating, but if that's the case, why not move out instead of killing someone? It's power to the people. We are talking about this today simply because Nigerians screamed. And like I always say, if you're not comfortable with something, speak out. When you don't speak out...
this is part of the people, Mr. Sani, Nigerians have spoken out again and again over the removal of fuel subsidy and the manner in which it was removed.
Not all of us have spoken out.
But not all of us spoke about this pardon.
I'm not sure of one person.
I know the NBA did take it up.
Most people, at least 99 tell me one person who said, it's okay to release the drug dealer. Nobody. Everybody kept quiet. Those who could have spoken against it kept quiet. And those of us who believe it, we spoke out, and there was no, cacophony of voices. Everything just went in one direction. And that's where we are. Governors are saying, it's the best thing after Dudu. Removal of subsidy. Somebody, in all seriousness, in my opinion, someone Nigerians should not be listening to, and I'm talking about Sanusi. He said that, in fact, we are still suffering because they did not remove...
They remove it on time.
That's a foolish statement. And in all seriousness...
You don't believe that subsidy should have been removed?
Not at all. Before you removed it, you said the day Nigeria removes subsidy is the day Nigeria is going to become paradise. We were in grade 10 of hellfire before. You removed subsidy, everybody's now in grade 1, hellfire, direct fire, no hindrance whatsoever. Instead of you to say, maybe we made a mistake. The foolishness coming out of your mouth is that, we are still suffering because we did not remove it on time. What sort of nonsense is that? When Jonathan was there, Jonathan wanted to remove the whole thing by taking fuel from 65 naira to 140.
He did.
Nigerians said no. Go halfway. 97 naira. I don't know if you can still remember. What happened? Did anything get better? Things got worse. Countries all over the world subsidize things, especially basic necessities for their citizens. I'm not sure of what's more basic than fuel, apart from food, fuel and power. And these are the things that these guys are telling us not to subsidize when your citizens are receiving 70,000 naira. I was reading about a guy who stays around Ikeja. This guy doesn't have a pressing iron. He doesn't have an air conditioning system in his house. And yet they charge him 200,000 naira. In fact, 280,000 naira.
Is he on band A?
Most likely 280 in a country where the minimum wage is 70,000. There is no way people can make a headway in such a country.
Let's talk about this loan. we're still going to talk about the coup.
Okay.
But let's talk about this loan that the National Assembly approved
Okay.
for President Bola Tinubu yesterday. His request to secure $2.347 billion in foreign loans to part finance the 2025 budget deficit and refinance Nigeria's maturing Eurobonds. We're currently running two
Budgets.
2024
2024
and 2025.
2025. Are you aware of the fact that it's almost November? Nobody's talking about 2026 budget.
This obviously shows that we don't have enough money.
No.
For the 2025
No.
budget.
It means you have more than enough money for 2024, such that we are still spending it in 2025. I don't even touch 2025 at all.
So why are we borrowing for 2025?
Because we are crooks. That's the truth of the matter. The minister has said it 1 billion and one times. The president has said it 1 billion and one times. Things are getting better. Revenue is no longer a problem. I'm quoting the president. Revenue is no longer a problem. In fact, all the money I intend to net for the whole 12 months of 2025 is already in my pocket by the end of August 2025, which means whatever you make in the month of September, October, November, December is Jara bonus. And yet, we are still borrowing money to finance the same budget we told the whole world that we already have in our pocket. Please, can anybody with a functional brain rationalize that? I'm struggling to rationalize that because it just shows that these people do not care. Borrow money. There is one funny Oyibo grammar that they're playing. Let me make a point, man.
The talk of the fact that I'm surprised on behalf of citizens because we've been hearing that our agencies
are bringing in enormous
a lot
money.
of money. Yes. So is there still the need, or is it because we're bringing it in naira, and these monies they're borrowing are in dollars?
Oh well, the truth of the matter is, it's not all the money they are borrowing that they are borrowing in dollars. There is one technical drama they are playing there for the money they just want to borrow now. Part of it to finance the 2025 budget that you told us to refinance. Do you know what that means? We borrowed money. Now the money we borrowed is due for repayment. Instead of bringing money out of the so much money we claim to have made, we are borrowing money to pay back. So what that means is that if you say you are in debt to pay. I mean, how does that make sense? How exactly does that make sense? You are driving the country deep into the mud. And that's not the best way to run a country. Everybody knows that agencies are bringing in an insane amount of money right now. For 2020, if I'm not mistaken, FIRS brought in 5 trillion. 5 trillion. September ending, FIRS has brought in over 21 trillion. That's over 4 folds. And yet, things are going further south for everybody in the country. I mean, I don't get it. Where is the money going to? Talk of naira, talk of dollars. NUPRC didn't even tell us directly. It was the British government that told us that Shell alone, as a company, paid around $5 billion to the Nigerian government last year in dollars. So if we're making so much money in dollars and we have, commitments that we have to settle in dollars, why can't we bring out of the dollars that I'm talking about just one company, Shell. We have not said anything about Total, we have said anything about Mobil, Chevron, and these are companies that are into oil exploration in the country. So where is all of this money going to? In fact, there is pounds, euros. Where is this money?
All right. Let's move on to other stories. If you're just joining us, it's Perspectives Unlimited on World Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're taking a look at headlines and stories that are making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Let's talk about the alleged coup plot, which is a major headline on many alleged, because the military has not, told us, and they're the ones with the authority to tell us that there was either a coup or there was no coup. Now, a former governor of Bayelsa State, who's also an ex-minister of state for petroleum resources, Timipre Silva, according to the Daily Trust, yesterday confirmed that military operatives raided his Abuja residence. In a statement by his media aide, Julius Bukoro, he also denied involvement in any attempts to topple President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government. It was gathered that soldiers had on Sunday raided Silva's Abuja and Bayelsa residences and arrested his brother. The managing director of a federal agency located in the South was also said to have been arrested and interrogated by security agencies for allegedly transferring funds to Silva for the purported coup financing. Of course, this is also reminding us that 16 army officers were arrested and detained.
Now 20.
Over an alleged coup attempt, which was rumored to have forced the president to cancel the October 1 Independence Day anniversary parade. Mr. Sani, the DHQ keeps dismissing this report of a coup as false and malicious. They say that the cancellation of the parade had nothing to do with any coup attempt. They also say that the arrests and ongoing investigation of officers...
Promotion.
In the officers, it's just a purely internal process. They are trying to uphold discipline and professionalism within the ranks. It's not a politically motivated action. I think the first question for me here is, if at all there was any attempt at a coup, in the first place, does the military owe it to us to tell us? Or should it be kept, quiet as, part of the intelligence? Do we have to know?
If I was the head of the DMI at this particular point in time, I will not tell the country, because it's going to unsettle.
So does it not make sense that if this truly happened, the DHQ is saying, "Oh no, it didn't happen"?
They should have kept quiet
instead of responding to the
moment you say, "Oh, it's not this, it's that." People will now begin to critique exactly what you are saying. They said that there was supposed to be a promotion that didn't happen, and for that reason people were protesting, and for that reason they had to arrest those protesting. That's the excuse they gave. That is not the duty of the DMI. That's the duty of the Nigerian Armed Forces, because it's the the Chief of Army Staff, through the Department of Administration, conducts promotion. It has nothing to do with DMI. DMI means Directorate of Military Intelligence. Intelligence is the word here. It was the intelligence agency that actually got wind of the fact that there was going to be a coup. In fact, they slated 2 days for the execution, October 1st or October 25. And the president was lucky to have... That's why Oduekun-Ayoola was spared. I don't know if you're aware. Well, it should be. The service chiefs were sacked recently.
Yeah, and just one was left in his position.
Yes, and that's the head of the DMI. He is also a service chief, but most people don't know. The people say, "Oh, the head of Army, head of Air Force," and that. No. The DMI is also a service chief. And he was the only one who retained his position. That tells you everything you need to know. The truth of the matter is that Thunder was supposed to strike on the 1st or 25th, but the president was lucky. They got wind of it, and he ran to Lagos.
Yeah, he was in Abuja.
It was supposed to be in Abuja, but he ran to Lagos. I could eliminate it. Nobody, if you follow me, come here. And the truth of the matter is that I'm not a fan of the current president, not by any measure, but a coup is the last thing that I want for my country, because it's going to take us back by at least 50 years. I don't want that. That's number one. Number two, let's talk about NDDC. NDDC is the agency.
Yeah, so
here.
now the NDDC apparently appears to be linked through money, 45 billion.
In all seriousness, how was it easy for the head of an agency to transfer 45 billion naira to somebody who is not in government? You are not a government contractor. It tells you that there is a wild and wide lacuna in the system. 45 whooping billion naira was moved from one agency to Timipriye Silva for the execution. A coup is very, very expensive, because there are people that, even if we did not inform them, at the point of execution, they must be inclined to counter it. So you must fill their pockets to turn a blind eye. And that is why the 45 billion. I actually heard 46 yesterday from Etioban Local. And in all seriousness, it's insane. 45 billion naira was moved without any reason to move 45 billion naira. Like I've always said, these agencies that are created for geopolitical zones, the Southwest, whatever. I saw on the initial budget they got 20 billion naira to start with. 100 billion, to start with. And out of the 100 billion, they now said they want to buy cars and communication equipment worth 20 billion. And the idea behind the agency is to make sure that life gets better for the people in that particular geopolitical region. And you are bringing a fifth of what you should have been using to build roads, make water and potable water available, to buy cars and communication equipment. I don't believe in these things. NDDC, Southwest, Northeast, tell me one thing those guys have done. Go to Port Harcourt today. What you see is that boys working at the NDDC have bought every corner in Port Harcourt. While in reality, they should go to Warri today. If you go to Warri today, you will weep for them, especially Bayelsa. The same Bayelsa where the NDDC head is from, the same Bayelsa where the head of, what's it called, where Timothy Silva is from. There is nothing to show for it.
Please let me stop you there. We'll take a short break now.
I have more to say when we come back.
When we come back from that break, this matter and many more we'll take a look at. And obviously, of course, we'll also put out the phone lines so that you, our dear listener, can be a part of the conversation. So don't go anywhere. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
Your preferred wholesome radio.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Oh yeah, if you like sports wella, make I reason you Sports Assembly on Top World Radio 89.3 FM. You want hear latest gist, analysis wey get vibration.
Firmino excellent, Scott Mark, everybody. Lisandro Martinez.
He don't drill them for that final.
Lisandro Martinez no play like saying just dey come back.
All transfer rumors.
That one they play 2-1. Na last victory be for Xavi before he carry load comot for Barcelona.
Okay now, Monday to Friday 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. we go run una auto for sports matter, football, basketball, tennis, and even our local sports. If na EPL, e dey. Italian Serie A anchor, e dey. Spanish La Liga, e dey. MPFL, no dull yourself. Even predictions wey dey enter, that one sef dey. Sports Assembly on World Radio 89.3 FM. Sports lovers, no shaking. Meet Sam Adeliri, una one and only Sadeliri, and the Sports IQ on top Sports Assembly on World Radio 89.3 FM, where sports matter, they share.
In various situations, women are most affected by work-life balance. However, women have pushed through like a plant growing out of tender ground, excelling amidst challenges. Join Kemisola Williams every Thursday on Women of Influence on Wells Radio 89.3 FM from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. to unlock potentials, build capacity, and help other women thrive. From real talk, expert insights, to inspiring stories and practical tools. This is your space to grow stronger, smarter, and unstoppable. Tune in to Women of Influence every Thursday on Wells Radio 89.3 FM by 3 p.m. Women of Influence. Greatness isn't given, it's developed.
Are you sick, troubled, or facing battles of life? It is time for your moment of healing. Come and experience the mighty power of God to heal, set free, and restore lives. Join Pastor Okeke Linus every Saturday by 1 p.m. on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. This program, Moment of Healing and Deliverance, is brought to you by Freedom Capsules Global Missions, opposite Moret Primary School, Idioro, by Salvation Army Road, Ibadan. Don't miss this program for anything. God bless you.
Powerful today, powerful healer. You are the powerful healer.
Tẹ́ ẹ bá fẹ́ polówó ọjà yín lórí rédíò, tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ máa ta wàràwàrà bọ́ mẹ́ta ṣe ń tà. West Radio ní kẹ́ ẹ máa bọ̀ o. Àfẹ̀tiwa gbé tiyín lárugẹ. Owó ò ga jara lọ o. Come for your jingle and advertisement at West Radio 89.3 FM. Gbogbo lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ àti lájọ̀lájọ̀. Ilé-iṣẹ́ ńláńlá àti kéékèèké. Ẹ̀yin ilé ìjọsìn pátápátá. Ẹ máa bọ̀. Ẹ wá gbé wò. Ẹ jẹ́ wò. Ẹ jọ́ wò. Ẹ tọ́ wò jọ́. Gbà kọ́ga ni mástà. Kí lẹ tún dúró ṣe náà? Ẹ má ṣe tàbí ṣùgbọ́n o. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá sílé iṣẹ́ wa. Gbàǹgbà la wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ títì. Ilé funfun pẹ̀lú àwọ̀ búlù. West Broadcasting House ní Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn, Ọ̀yọ́ State, Nàìjíríà. Ẹ̀lú 07066165053 tàbí 08035093394. West Radio 89.3 FM. Ọlọ́run gbọ́ gbogbo ń tẹ́ fẹ́ ojú kan ló wà.
Àwa ewé ìwò yìí, Olúwa jẹ́ kábà kásábàdà o.
Ọmọnìyí ọmọnìdẹ ọmọnì wọléde ni ètò ọmọnìyí ọmọnìdẹ ńlẹ̀tọ̀ tó ń ṣe àjíǹde fún àṣà àti ìṣe ilẹ̀ wa lórí ìkànnì West Radio 89.3 FM Aláàfin Avenue Olúyọ̀lé Estate Ìbàdàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago 5 sí aago 6 àrọ̀lẹ́ ní gbogbo ọjọ́bọ̀ Thursday pẹ̀lú olólùfẹ́ yín Afọlábí Kẹ́hìndé Èkó bàbá. Ẹ má gbàgbé o, abala méjì ńlẹ̀tọ̀ ìpín sí. Abala àkọ́kọ́ ńlọrọ̀ ọ̀mọ̀ràn fún àwọn ọ̀dọ́, lábala ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì níbẹ̀ láti ń sọ àlọ́ àpamọ̀ àti àlọ́ àpagbè. Ẹ̀kọ́ sódó sínú ètò yìí má jẹ́ ń ròyìn ẹ̀ fún ẹ. Ọmọnìyí ọmọnìdẹ pẹ̀lú Afọlábí Kẹ́hìndé Èkó bàbá. Ètò bàbá ètò.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. This morning, we've been taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. If you're just joining us, you're welcome. We've been talking about quite a lot, from the pardons, the review or revocation. Review, I think review is a better word, from the review of the pardons, to the alleged military coup. At this point, it's still alleged until the DHQ comes and tells us something different. To the alleged, which is what we're talking about before we took the break. Also to the loan that was recently approved yesterday for President Bolanle Tinubu. We're also talking about the Kumsi.
Yes, let me wrap it by saying that despite the fact that I'm not a fan of the president, I'm actually his friend.
How?
It's your friend that's going to tell you the truth, even if it's bitter. Let me not borrow the words of Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, a former military head of state. As we are all aware, I'm not sure there is a history of any coup in this country that Babangida wasn't aware of. Himself and Abacha. He said the very first ingredient of a coup is poor performance by the current establishment. If the incumbent is doing well, nobody will dream of staging a coup against him. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, congratulations for surviving this one. I pray it ends there. But in your best interest, it's going to be beneficial to you if you can do what Nigerians want.
Let's set an agenda for the president. Let's imagine that he's listening right now and he's saying, okay, what do Nigerians want? What do you want me to do? In what order do you want me to do it?
Increase purchasing power, and that is the most important thing.
How do we do that?
God bless you for that. What exactly is draining the pockets of Nigerians? Food. Find a way to reduce the price.
But it's not the price of food. Food has come down.
Let's be realistic. The price of food is not coming down. That's just political jamboree. Reduce the price of food, reduce the price of fuel, reduce the price of electricity, fix our infrastructure, make it easy for people to go and come back easily, effortlessly.
But you'll agree that can be done in a day, talk less of a month.
Nobody is talking about doing it in a day, but let us see that you have set the appropriate machinery in motion. If we can see that truly they are building roads, they are building new hospitals, price of education is now affordable, nobody is going to say, oh, the guy has not done enough. And the terrible part of it for him is that this is the last year he can do anything that Nigerians are going to applaud. Come 2026, even if it's January 1st, and it tells the whole world that he is reducing the price of fuel by even 1 naira, people are going to say, oh, next year is election. They want to scam us. So between now and December 31st, he needs to find a strategy. And the strategy is there. I said it some time ago. Nigeria produces crude. Why can't we extract crude from our land, hand it over to Dangote, refine this thing, and sell to Nigerians at the cost price?
Don't forget, we're still having issues with the naira to crude or crude to naira sales.
That's part of the problem. I see no reason why they should be selling to Dangote in dollars whatsoever. Because, for what he wants to sell outside the country, you may say, guy, bring dollars, because you are selling this thing to Singapore. Singapore is not going to pay you naira.
But do we know the consumption?
We do.
For Nigeria.
NMDPRA does. NMDPRA is the agency that regulates our filling stations. If you want to know how much we are selling, tell filling stations to tell you how much they have sold in the last 30 days. With that, you get an average of what we are selling. That's the truth of the matter. We can do it if we want to do it. Reduce what is draining the pockets of Nigerians, and Nigerians are going to love you. But every day, tax. Are you aware of the 10% tax they just said about? We just talked about 2 days ago that FIRS is now mandating stockbrokers, banks, everybody to remit to the federal government, and you want the people to love you? It's not going to work.
All right, let's move on to other stories. But this is to let you know, our dear listeners, that the phone lines are officially open. You can be a part of the conversation from now up until 7:30. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. I'll take the numbers again. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. You can also send a WhatsApp message to 0915 4999 893. That's 0915 4999 893. Or you can drop your comments on our Facebook fan page, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook, and we'll definitely read it and respond to you. Now, yesterday, the Senate approved the appointments or confirmed the appointments of the new service chiefs. And, while they were speaking, they dished out their plans or their pledge to overhaul the nation's security architecture. The Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluede, said that his years of exposure to national security issues has prepared him for the complex task of defending Nigerians. He said he's going to work to bring positive change to the military economy and optimize operational design and tactics. He also called for the establishment of a local military-industrial complex to reduce Nigeria's dependence on foreign arms procurement. I was going to say that they said, they'd like Nigeria to start manufacturing our own equipment. Is the country ripe for that? Because we've been purchasing equipment, from outside of the country. And I recall that at some point, the military had said that these bandits and terrorists were using weapons that were even more sophisticated than what they have.
That's actually...
How do we hope to compete?
That is a lie. I have seen what terrorists have in the videos they usually upload. And trust me, they don't have 1,000th of what Nigeria has. But let's go into the details. There's an agency of government called DICON, Defense Industries Companies of Nigeria. It is in Kaduna. It has been in existence since 1964-65. And the primary mandate of that agency is to manufacture weapons. They have manufactured a lot of weapons, especially light weapons, rifles, pistols, even tanks. As the Chief of Army Staff, he cannot tell us that he was not aware of the fact that there was an agency called DICON. The question is, what is coming out of DICON? Next to nothing. They'll tell you that, okay, they want to go and commission a gun, a rifle. Jonathan did it when he was there, Buhari did it. And some 2 months ago, all ministers gathered in Kaduna to, celebrate the manufacture of a new weapon by DICON. You are producing guns, but you are still importing guns. Does it make sense? Why not channel resources into DICON? And not just resources that nobody is going to follow through. Put money there, set a target for them. When Nigeria was fighting civil war, most of the weapons Nigeria used came from DICON. That's how solid it was in the past. But it's no longer an issue. Rather, they would want to collect dollars to say they want to go and bring guns or whatever. You know what happens to that. Do I believe in Oluede? No.
Additionally, he also talked about collaboration
with the police.
Not just with the police. He talked about strengthening international partnerships to eliminate insurgency.
He also said something about the police, that the police should be empowered to take care of internal insurgency, while the military is going to take care of external insurgency. At this particular point, if you are saying that the bandits are better harmed than the police, and I would say yes, because police officers don't use grenades. They don't use, RPGs and likes, and bandits have that. So it has gone beyond what police officers can handle. The military must be involved. But like I was saying, I don't believe in Oluede, and I'll tell you why I don't believe in him. He has been the Chief of Army Staff for around a year, if not more than a year, since Labeja died. And Nigeria has had the worst run in terms of security in the last 12 years under Oluyede. A lot of military bases have been ransacked in the north central, in the northeast, in the northwest. And Nigeria lost a lot of ammunition and even lives under him. For the new chief of army staff, in all seriousness, is somebody who should have been court-martialed and set out of the army for a long time. Since maybe last year, he was until April this year the theater commander of Operation Hadinkadi in the northeast, where
he said they rescued some girls.
Let's get serious. On his watch, Nigeria lost a lot of personnel, senior personnel, simply because these guys were just coming into the military bases scattered around the northeast region, eliminating the soldiers there and carting away weapons. And you are now elevating somebody who has clearly failed to the role of chief of army staff. What do you think he's going to do differently? Can anybody answer that question?
Additionally, the chief of air staff, Air Vice Marshal Kennedy Aneke, he talked about innovation and discipline. He said they would fight smartly, professionally, aggressively, and offensively to defeat terrorism and insurgency.
Let me tell you something, madam. We most likely wouldn't be talking about this if not for the alleged coup. I believe personally that the president reshuffled the chiefs simply because he wants to have his own skin saved, not because he cares about Nigerians. Guess what? I don't know if you're familiar with military hierarchy. If there is a new service, chief of army staff, no army officer can be superior to that person, except the chief of defense staff. The immediate past chief of army staff, Oluyede, is of the course 37. That means the 37th batch since we opened the Nigerian army. Of course, 37 is gone, headed by Oluyede. A replacement should have been brought in from course 38. The president jumped course 38. He jumped course 39. He jumped course 40 to go and bring in somebody from course 41. That is going to be extremely costly for the Nigeria in terms of finances, because you need to
You're going to have to recruit?
You need not even that. You need to understand what it means should you retire a major general, the financial implication. It is extremely. At least one of them is going to go home with something upwards of 500 mil total package. So everybody in class 38, you pay for them. 39, 40, now you have 41. I believe he chose 41 simply because the guy is going to feel like, are you kidding me? I'm not the chief of army staff. This guy is not going to recover from that sudden shock of, God, I thank you. The idea of outsmarting the president, you know what that means? Is never going to come to his mind, because he's going to be eternally grateful to the president for giving him something he never thought in his wildest imagination that he could get. And that is not what we should be doing in this country. Let us bring in people who are established, people who understand the terrain, people who have been in the system, people who can fight these guys, people who have the technical know-how to do it, not greenhorns. No disrespect to Waidi Shaibu. I don't know him. I don't intend to know him going by his record. But that's the truth. Now you are bringing in someone who, in my opinion, is only going to be, wowed by the fact that he became a chief of army staff at a point he never thought it could happen. This guy was just decorated as a brigadier general in 2017. Maybe he became a major general in 2021, 2022. And now he's the head of the Nigerian army. Are you kidding me?
All right. This matter continues to go on in the shadows because still there is no confirmation from any official source.
There is no confirmation.
Everything is allegedly.
There is no confirmation, but unless one wants to lie to himself or herself, I mean, the handwriting is clear on the wall. Not just that it is on the wall, it is clear on the wall.
All right. 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. Sulaiman Sharif says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. The frequent reversals by the federal government of today reflect a lack of coordination and moral clarity. The exercise of presidential pardon should be guided by justice, integrity, and due process, not impulsive decisions or political calculations. Leadership demands consistency and respect for public trust. Thank you so much for your comments. Arani Yahaya says good morning. Good morning to you too. Now, quickly, let's take a look at this. On the Daily Trust newspaper, it says alleged Christian genocide. U.S. lawmakers relying on faulty data. That's from the federal government. Now, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said that some United States lawmakers are relying on inaccurate and misleading data to allege a so-called Christian genocide in Nigeria. Of course, we remember that recently some U.S. senators called for decisive diplomatic action against the Nigerian government over the alleged persecution of Christians, and the Nigerian government, as well as some religious leaders, have consistently maintained that the killings in the northern part of Nigeria. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Benga Mario calling from Apache.
Good morning, Mr. Mario. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
All right.
Now, Mr. Asoni, good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
I want to ask you a question.
Let's go ahead.
And I'm not, number one, I'm not bothered about who is being appointed as the new CBS or appointed as the new chief of army staff or whatever. But what I'm particular about is that what prompted the coup plot, the alleged coup plot? What really brought about the coup plot? Let me remind you, sir. During the period of Jonathan, there was never a coup plot. There was only a protest, which I even participated. During the period of Buhari, for good 8 years, there was no coup plot. Now, we are having Mr. President Tinubu. Why was there a need for the coup plot? And why was there a massive shake-up in that parastatal? I think I wanted to firstly answer the question before I delve into the next part of my question.
I think
Mr.
Sani has already, said a lot about this during the show.
Okay.
Yes.
I said that if it is happening simply because of the fact that they believe that the level of acceptability for the president is extremely low. Since 1999, this is the first time I'll be aware of something like this. And it tells you that Nigerians are at a level they have never been in the past 26 years.
All right. So the issue of the alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria. What's in it for the US to keep pressing on this matter?
The truth of the matter is that the US,
after all, people are still being killed in Sudan, killed in Gaza,
Mali, everywhere, and it never makes news until it's Nigeria. Let me tell you something, ma. Nigeria is actually the target. We may not be doing well. We are not doing well, but looking into the future, no country has what it takes to enter into the future like Nigeria on the African plane. They don't want Africa to be stabilized.
All of this take away from the fact that Nigerians are still being killed, especially in the northern part of the country?
Nope. People are being killed day in, day out. Christians, Muslims are being killed. Yesterday, a group of people were praying in a particular mosque in Katsina State in the morning. Bad boys entered into the mosque and they killed everybody in the mosque. It didn't make news. The same yesterday, people were killed in Benue State. Let me tell you something, man, and I'm very, very blunt here. People have been saying it, and I have been saying it. What we are experiencing in this country right now is not homegrown. Yes, there are some citizens who are part of the process who are helping to execute the idea, but the agenda itself is not a Nigerian idea. It is from outside of this country, even outside of this continent. The people who are doing it are still the same people who are now saying that, okay, how come they are killing these people? They want to further drive a wedge between us. They are trying to create a civil war in the country. That's just the truth of the matter. They don't want Nigeria to be stabilized.
Let's see if we can take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, madam. You have just a few minutes. Yes, please go ahead.
Concerning the presidential pardon, to me, I think must he pardon prisoners because all those who is pardoning are hardened criminals and they can come back to the society and continue their evil work. So the president is just putting the lives of judges at risk. So releasing prisoner is not a sign of good governance. People view it as if president use that as a over. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your
Like I was saying, the people who are sponsoring this are still the same people who are saying, how come they are killing these people? Nigerians at this particular point in time need to lock their hairs to those people because they have an agenda, and it's to keep Nigeria and Africa unsettled. That's it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for
It is always an
your
honor
contribution
to be
on the
here.
show. Big thank you to everyone who called and sent their messages. Don't go away. AM Sports is coming up right now, and you'll be able to hear the latest stories in the world of sports. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola, and this is Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.